Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Halftime is over with. Third quarter kicks off right now. Thanks for hanging out with us all morning long, whether you have been listening on the radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM, also available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com. Got your Google and Alexa devices as well. The video stream also up and rolling here this morning, so multiple different ways for you to be tuning in. Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, we got lots to catch up on in the Badger world. So RJ Cardinal will be joining us here in just a little bit. So we'll get the Madison perspective on the Badger basketball team, the hockey teams, et cetera, et cetera. We are just a couple days away from opening day here for the Crew for Major League Baseball. And I was kind of perusing some more projections and such. And well, ESPN just a couple of hours ago posted up their MLB 2026 season preview rankings and every team's playoff odds. They asked their MLB experts to rank every team from 1 through 30 in their first power rankings of the new season. Where is the Brewer, or where are the Brewers listed on this one? Well, number 1 is the Dodgers, no surprise. Number 2 is the Mariners. Number 3 is the Yankees. Number 4 is the Blue Jays. Number 5 is the Phillies. Number 6 is the Mets. Number 7 is the Cubs. 8 in Tier 3, as they call should-be contenders, is the Tigers. 9 is the Red Sox. 10 is the Braves. And then it is your Milwaukee Brewers. So they have them in Tier 3 as should-be contenders. Their projected record that they list for the Brewers is 83-79. Playoff odds, 41%, a 1.5% chance for the World Series. This is according to the mothership. The thing we'll be talking about the most this season, they said, is Mizorowski's sophomore season. Mizorowski was a captivating story during the Brewers' 97-win campaign. With his electric stuff and unassuming demeanor as a rookie, he was dominant at times thanks to a fastball that averaged 99.3 miles per hour, and he allowed 2 earned runs over 12 postseason innings. But he encountered inconsistency in the second half and finished the regular season with a 4.36 ERA in 66 innings. Now, he's not just a nice addition to the Brewers' starting rotation. He is crucial to their success after Milwaukee traded Freddie Peralta. I'd agree with that. You know, in terms of if he's crucial, absolutely. Absolutely. Most likely 2026 award winner, Pat Murphy, after he's won back-to-back National League Manager of the Year awards. Yeah, this is boring because Murphy has won the award the past 2 years, but the Brewers line up almost exactly as they have during the past 2 years. They didn't tear down the roster, though they parted ways with key contributors such as Peralta and Caleb Durbin. They didn't splurge in free agency, and they were predicted to be middling the season. So when the Brewers win 95 games, we'll say, man, that Murph did it again. Logan Henderson would have been a good pick here for Rookie of the Year honors, but his elbow issues probably mean he will be handled carefully and won't have awards-level volume. For their one realistic, bold prediction, Jackson Chourio has flashed his potential stardom during his first 2 seasons in the majors, putting up a 6 career WAR through his age 21 season. But he failed to show improvement at the plate in his sophomore season. Will he have a breakout in 2026? Let's go with yes, as he hits .290 with 30 home runs, a 5 WAR, and makes his first All-Star appearance. 30 home runs from Jackson Chourio. I'll take that. And it feels like a lot of you, at least when we last checked our post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question, it was, I mean, we listed 5 names on there. Last I checked, it was like 58% of you thought Cheerio was going to lead the team in home runs. And then finally, how can they be an October threats? It's really hard to contend in this era without hitting homers. And that continued to be the Brewers' challenge. We know they'll pitch well, and they'll play great defense in that. Along the way, a handful of their players will outperform expectations. But despite an underwhelming offseason, they need to find a little more slug. The Brewers ranked third in the majors in home run percentage in 2022. From 2023 to 2025, they finished 25th, 19th, and 25th. Christian Yelich continuing what he did last year offensively will be vital. Others taking another step toward or forward will be just as crucial. And that's the thing. I think when you look back at the last few years for this Brewers team, you know, that line that says there, that, you know, it's really hard to contend in this era without hitting homers. And it wasn't that long ago the Brewers were hitting homers. But why weren't they winning a World Series or going to a World Series? Well, maybe there were some questions with the pitching. It's just nothing really has been cohesive. Like all things clicking. Like they'll have pitching, but then they don't maybe have the greatest hitting. Oh, they got some power, but then they don't have the greatest pitching added to it. Just kind of waiting for it all to come together. If Jackson Cheerio, though, is going to hit 30 dingers this year, and Bryce Terrain continues his power surge, and then you got a healthy Contreras, hopefully. Now, I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers on a lot of this stuff, and it's hopeful wishing, but that's all we got right now, just right before the opening day, beginning part of the season. Yeah, that would help answer a lot of questions. There's no question. So, I think on Thursday we are going to do our Thursday and Friday, because I know I want to do it with Brandon too, but we'll do some really like season predictions and such. So I think Thursday we'll kind of focus on you, since it's a Thursday, takeover Thursday, where the listeners, all of you, act as the producers and help come up with the segments and such. We'll take your season predictions for the Brewers. And then I think Brandon and I will do our predictions on Friday and such. So, but we'll get back to some more Brewers talk coming up here in a little bit. We know Brandon Woodruff is going to be on the opening day roster. He's going to be the fifth starter in the rotation to open up the year. It's going to be Mizorowski, Chad Patrick, and Sproat, and then it's going to be Harrison and Brandon Woodruff. So Brandon Woodruff will not pitch in the first series against the White Sox. He's going to pitch the fifth game of the year, the second game in their series against the Rays. So they thought about starting him. He was talking a little bit to the media yesterday. They thought about starting him on the injured list to begin the year in effort to ramp him up, but they elected not to because he's healthy. He's healthy, and they're going to throw him out there. Be curious, you know, with these pitchers, we've seen them, even like Harrison, right? The build-up and just the cautious approach for a lot of these pitchers, how that transitions into the beginning portion of this regular season too. Like, how much are they going to push these guys? They're healthy, you would think. So can they go 6 innings, 7 innings? I don't think you're going to see that for the Brewers. I think you're going to be seeing a very cautious approach, and you're going to see maybe like a 4-inning outing, 5-inning outing at max, and just really utilizing the depth that they have in their bullpen, a depth of pitchers that can give you multiple innings. That's kind of where I see this thing playing out. But, all right, tell you what, we'll get back to Brewers chat. Lots of baseball chat coming up here. We're going to switch gears here, and we got lots to hit on with the Badgers here. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll bring in our guy, Mr. RJ Cardinal. We'll revisit last Thursday's loss by the Badger men's basketball team. What's the vibe? What's the talk like down in Madison surrounding that team and Greg Gard? Now that we are a few days removed from it, Badger women's basketball, they're still in their tournament. Women's hockey team, national championship, 9, one more than both hands are filled with rings. And the men's hockey team getting set to start their tournament run coming up in just a couple days. So Lots to catch up on with RJ. Let's take a quick break, and we'll bring him aboard coming up after these quick words. Pain doesn't have to slow you down, and at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their experienced team is focused on getting you back to doing what you love, whether that's competing on the field or staying active or simply moving without discomfort. From joint pain and sports injuries to advanced surgical and non-surgical treatments, they provide personalized care designed around you. Local experts, advanced techniques, real results. If pain is holding you back, take the next step towards recovery. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better every single day. All right, let's switch gears here and let's talk some Badgers with our guy, Mr. R.J. Cardinal. So, R.J., let's get right to it. What's a few days removed from Thursday? What's the vibe like down in Madison with the men's basketball team, Greg Gard and such? I'm sure you've heard it all at this point in time, but what's the vibe like down there after Thursday's upset loss against High Point?
Oh, you have the fire guard crowd still. Wow. You have the people who point out, they've beaten 5 of the 6 Big Ten teams that are still left in the NCAA tournament, with the only one not being Nebraska that you didn't beat. You have people who are like, you always have somebody go off against Wisconsin in a tournament game who doesn't do anything extremely well throughout the year up until that game. And you had a guy who scored his first 2-point basket of the year, so I guess you could throw that in there.
Right.
The range of emotions is all over the place, but it's almost like people were expecting that to happen, so there's not a lot of anger. It just seems to be, oh yeah, I saw that happening. They just had an off shooting day, which they really didn't. High Point was on. I mean, just look at their game against Arkansas. It was the exact same game, but down the line they started missing shots where they weren't against Wisconsin. So, and it doesn't help that, statistically some of your players had bad games against High Point. But yeah, it is what it is, and you move on to next season and see what this team even is going to be next year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I'll ask you because, it was a question on Friday and such, so I guess I'll get your thoughts on it. Is Greg Gard a little bit on the hot seat, do you feel like? Not, just from an administration standpoint, do you think he should be, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being scorching hot sort of thing? Is it warm at all, considering that, Wisconsin has advanced to the second weekend since his second year as head coach?
I'm really not sure, because there is something to say for getting the NCAA tournament. There is something to say for having really good regular seasons. And you can't afford to have another situation which would happen to a different coach, where making a bowl game every year all of a sudden became not the thing you wanted to do. And since then, you've made one bowl game since that coaching change. So as the AD, you cannot afford that. You cannot have that happen. And so I don't think the seat is hot. If Gard starts missing NCAA tournaments, we could maybe start talking about the seat getting hotter. And he has missed one in his time, not including the COVID year. But I don't see how there can be a hot seat right now with Greg Gard. The way his teams have been forming, the way he's changed his philosophy to get players in here who will play a more up-tempo style and a more European, worldly game than Wisconsin has played in the past. So he's made the changes to become more competitive, and I think it's something at least that shows the athletic department, especially since you're going outside of their NIL collective to get your players. I think it's something that shows there is effort to make the change to get past that point of making it to a Sweet 16.
Obviously, we know Nick Boyd's not going to be back next year. I think we're all kind of assuming maybe Blackwell isn't back next year. I know it's dangerous to assume and such, but it almost feels like if he does come back, it probably be with Wisconsin. But again, we've been surprised before in the current, college landscape and such. I mean, doesn't this make this even more difficult to kind of gauge like what next year is going to look like because of just the uncertainty of what this roster construction is going to be?
Yeah. And I mean, we heard Blackwell talking about how this was the hardest year of his life off the court, and the team really helped him through that. So, I mean, who knows what's going through his mind? Like you pointed out, we had Chucky who was talking about running it back and then left. Left to go to Louisville for double the money, which was a good move for him. So who really knows what's going to happen as you're playing out here? What we just saw, I think I was reading an article of where, and I don't know how this happened, but player for UCLA, the big Spaniard, like left for home and then came back with demands and entered the transfer portal after pretty much being in a verbal agreement to coming back next year for terms that were agreed upon before he left home. I don't know when that happened. I don't know if that's true or not, but it'd be a little difficult to do that when you were playing in the NCAA tournament. But who knows? When you get knocked out, maybe you can go home real quick and then start talking to agents and call UCLA and say, hey, I got some demands. But it's not like we haven't seen that here either, where somebody signed something and then dropped out of school and went to a different school to avoid the transfer portal. So, it's going to be a crazy offseason here. We don't know really who's going to be left on this roster. I think you really want to try to get the core of Blackwell, Winter, Rapp, and Belauskas to stay if you can, and build around that. There's other guys who hopefully will be able to step up that are on this roster. But, yeah, right now the roster's in complete limbo because of the NIL and the transfer portal, and we don't know what really is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding. So really quick, just to kind of look back at the tournament here, it's something I know we talk about when it comes to the college football tournament and such, but we got 6 Big Ten teams left in the Sweet 16. Is that something kind of the same with football? You're rooting for the Big Ten to have, go to the Final Four, maybe even win a national championship, or is that a little bit different for you?
Well, making it to the Sweet 16, I mean, you hear a lot of people talking about that being a goal, and that's like across the NCAA. So being in that second weekend really makes a lot, and we've had a caller that calls into the morning show every now and then who says because they gave it a fancy name, you think it means more. If they just said you made it to the third round, would you be thinking of, oh man, like it's great, blah, or would you be thinking, oh, they made it to the third round, that's cool? Mm-hmm. So it might be like he looks at it as a marketing thing, and making the NCAA tournament is bigger than making it deep into the NCAA tournament, because one way or another, if you don't win it, you've lost. So what's the difference between losing in the first round and losing in the third round? And I know it's quality of opponent gets better as you get deeper, theoretically, but it does bring up a good point. Mm-hmm. And it's also one of those why can somebody get hot in their conference tournament and get the automatic bid when you have like maybe a team who outright wins the conference in the regular season, and it's not necessarily one day somebody can be better than another team, but it's an overall body of work. And then if you're not in like a conference that's thought well, if you end up losing in your conference tournament, you probably won't be in the NCAA tournament. So it's weird like that. But I think making the tournament is probably, especially when you're looking at the power conferences, if you're battling through that and being able to make the tournament every year, that's saying a lot about your program. And is it nice to get down to the Sweet 16? Your real goal, probably the Final Four, to really call it a successful season, unless there was absolutely no expectation. Then, yeah, Sweet 16 making it to the second weekend would be great. But I know in back-to-back Final Fours, that's pretty much been where Wisconsin, as a program, wants to and feels they need to be. But it's something that I think, it really all depends on who you talk to on where their vision of it is, because Wisconsin's not a blue blood, so we can't be thinking of ourselves on that tier of being a perennial Final Four team. We can think of ourselves as a perennial Sweet 16 team, I think. So we haven't done that in a decade, but that's definitely something to strive for.
Right. Staying with basketball here really quick, I mean, because we got to give at least one Wisconsin basketball team still alive in their tournament, and that's the women's team in the Women's Basketball Invitational. So, I mean, this is, I get it, it's not the NCAAs and such, but we're talking stepping stones for this program, right? I mean, this has got to be, a benefit for this program that's trying to get back to being a regular at the NCAA level.
Yeah, you get more court time, you get more practice time. It's no different than teams who qualify for bowl games. I mean, and they're beating teams with winning records. Mm-hmm. So right. They win a little bit without winning to close out the season, but I mean they're beating teams now that have winning records. So maybe the Big Ten's just a really good women's basketball conference. You beat Oregon State, you beat Miami, you now have a home game coming here, and if you win that, you're going to the WBIT Final Four, I think. It's like, no matter the tournament, I mean, when you had a season like you did where you end up with a losing record and you're still allowed to play basketball as you're moving forward, it allows the team to get more chemistry. Hopefully, I don't know the situations of playing time and things like that with women's basketball, but moving forward, it is a tournament sponsored by the NCAA, unlike the NIT. So you have women's NIT, now the WBIT, whatever other tournaments are there. So, it's good. Like, whenever you can continue a season, it's good to do. And like, really, I don't understand the teams who consistently want to forego, and I guess in some situations, if people are just leaving right after a season and they didn't reach a goal, and you don't have a roster, makes sense. But that part of that's on the coach for not being able to keep a team together as well. So, I like it. It's good for that, to see that happen. And I mean, you can't be mad at it and say they shouldn't have even been there. Well, they've beaten two teams with winning records now. So, looking like they kind of do belong, at least at that level, right, for this stepping stone right now. And hopefully, like you said, working the way back to being a relevant team, not only in the conference, but on a more recognizable national level.
All right. So hockey-wise, I mean, after a poor, disappointing showing in the men's tournament, in comes the women's hockey team to save the day over the weekends. Your Little League baseball coach is now a 9-time national champion hockey coach, Mr. Mark Johnson and such. I mean, this has got to be on the same level of pure dominance that we have seen from like UConn women's basketball, Pat Summitt, Tennessee, basketball. I mean, he's got one more, then he's got a ring for each finger on both his hands. Yeah, RJ, unless he's missing a digit. I don't think he is or anything like that. But I mean, just what else can we say about this program that you and I haven't already said over these last few years?
Yeah, well, I mean, since Wisconsin's had a program, I think they now have 9. Well, so they have 9 of the 26 championships since they've been a program. So they have just a little over a third of the national championships. So I mean, that's funny to say,
right?
9, 3 clear of the Gophers, who have 6. Who just fired their women's and men's coach this year.
Yeah.
So they're a program that's starting over, and after they fired their head coach, they just hired the lead assistant. So that's a little weird.
Yeah, right.
If you're trying to do a program overhaul and you're the number 3 team in the country and you're the number 1 and 2 teams happen to be in your conference, maybe like that's one that maybe you just go with it. It's not like they were getting dominated year in, year out by Ohio State and Wisconsin. They were still running competitive games and beating those two. It was just not happening for conference championships in the conference tournament or the NCAA tournament. So I get where Minnesota might want to be back to where they are as in the state of hockey, but yeah, that's an interesting choice if you were looking to make a change. But yeah, I mean, it was a tough road to get there after you got to the Frozen Four, Penn State in overtime, and then up 2-0 for most of the game against Ohio State. They come back, tie it up. You get a goal in the third period, and yeah, it was just a great game overall. And yeah, it's not like they're utterly dominating everybody. It's like they work hard to do it. So, and multiple interviews I've heard people giving in the days is, the players, are so great because they don't want to disappoint Mark Johnson because he's, a great person, a great coach, and the list goes on. But, yeah, it's amazing the culture he's built there and how he gets all of the women who come and play for him to buy in and to a T. They kind of go down the list and say almost everything all the same from the time he started coaching until now. It doesn't really waver in terms of the women who he has been coach for.
Right. Yeah, no question, man. It's been awesome. So, and then on the men's, they make the dance, they make the tournament, and they're in action on Thursday going up against Dartmouth as a 3 seed in their section or their regional and such. How do you like their path when you kind of see how it's matched up for the men's side?
They're 3-1 against Michigan State, or they split. I can't remember. You've beaten Michigan State, who's the number 1 seed in your region. Dartmouth is 23-7-2. Just looking at it, I think Wisconsin has a good chance against Dartmouth. Now, if the Wisconsin team that shows up and could put 12 goals up in a series against Penn State, or if you get the one who showed up against Ohio State, or the month leading up to this into late January and early February, it'll be a one and done situation. But I think if you have the correct attitude when you show up, this is a team we can definitely see reach the Frozen Four. But yeah, it'll all depend because you even get a couple of people who are just going through the motions it's not going to work out. But the firepower on this team should be able to get them to the Frozen Four. But we'll see. They have a decent chance to make it out of this region, but all depends on what kind of attitude they show up with.
All right. Hey, before I let you go, I saw Colton Bartholomew had tweeted that the pads are going on today for spring ball practice. Have you heard anything from spring ball, or has it been pretty tight-lipped so far on how spring practice has gone?
Oh, there were a lot of touchdowns yesterday, for whatever that means. But it's just not a lot of contact or anything like that as of right now. So nothing for right now. It started last week Thursday, so they got the cover of the Badgers losing in basketball to kind of get things started without much attention. But we'll see where it goes from here. I believe after this week they go on spring break, so I'm not sure what you're going to get in the first day of pads now and through the end of the week. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 50 some odd new players that are going to be on this roster next year. And it'll start with this spring, and looking forward to what comes out. But I think on the Thursday practice last week, the defense dominated, but like you said, they're putting on pads today. I don't know what you can really do in practices and get a good feel for things when there are no pads on and nobody's really blocking, and people are getting really for the first time under coach's supervision, getting to know each other in terms of the playbook and how things are going to be wanting to be done the coach's way. So we got however many more practices now. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a spring game, but an open practice. We'll get this through to April and on to the off season, and allow freshmen to get in here and get ready for fall camp come August. But looking forward to seeing what kind of stories come out and what kind of team we see come together in spring ball here.
Awesome. RJ Cardinal, our man, Badgers all the time with Mr. RJ. We appreciate the input and the insight, dude. Enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Okay, bud?
Sounds good. We will talk to you then.
You got it. There you go. RJ Cardinal, great stuff as always with RJ. Always appreciate his time when he's able to join us every Tuesday. All right, we got to play a little catch-up. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back after these few words. Accidents happen, but getting back on the road shouldn't be as stressful. And at Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, you will find experienced technicians, quality craftsmanship, and service that you can trust. From collision repair and dent removal to full paint work and insurance coordination, they handle the details so you do not have to. They'll restore your vehicle the right way, safely, professionally, and with attention to every detail. When your vehicle needs expert care, choose a team that puts quality first. That's Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, bringing your vehicle back to life one repair at a time. And Superior Auto Body, our official Backyard Dreams partners. And speaking of Backyard Dreams, sign up right now for our 6th annual Casper Classic being held at gorgeous Lake Hallie Golf Course. Got the 3 tee times. The 3 tee times available, 7:30, 10, and 1 p.m. So this is our big Backyard Dreams fundraiser and such. So we sell out every year. So if you want to get your 2-person team in right now, same thing. Everything else is the same. All right. Get on over to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and it's right there on the home page. As I said, we do have to take another break here coming up in just a little bit. Got to play a little catch up. So let's just kind of reset the stage here as we approach the final quarter, the final hour of this Tuesday program. It's a Toys Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What the heck is grinding your gears, peeps? Get it off your chest. Speaking of something, getting something off your chest, it's our confessions today. It's our sports confessions. What do you got to confess? All right. Let us know. You'll feel better, all right? You'll feel better. Like my confession earlier on, I confess my sins that I did not give Team USA Flag Football enough credit. They dominated against some of the pros this past weekend. So I confess I didn't give them a chance. I didn't give them enough credit. And, boy, were we wrong. But so what else do you have out there? Also, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying that the Bucks are going to, completely go in the doldrums of an NBA franchise. But I'm just saying I'm not feeling very good about their foreseeable future. So what else do we have out there? All right, we're going to get back to some more baseball talk as we are just days away, almost just 48 hours away from opening day in Milwaukee. Baseball, come on. I'm pumped. And I don't know if now I'm even more like last week I was pumped. I think it was coming off the World Baseball Classic. Now I'm more pumped because it's just closer. Bucks aren't going to the postseason. Badger basketball is already out. I need something to get excited for it and to get my hopes back up and maybe getting ready to crush some dreams here and such. But I'm ready. Let's go. We got Masters coming up in a couple weeks, too. I mean, there's still lots to get to. We are now less than a month away from the first round of the NFL draft, even though the Packers don't have a first-round pick. But then that would mean a month from today is the day 2, which is my favorite day, which is going to be a big day 2 for Green Bay. So, I mean, we're going to start to get to a little bit more of that chats coming up here when we inch a little bit closer to it. But if you're kind of game planning for your opening day, tomorrow we've got tomorrow night opening night, the Yankees taking on the Giants. That one's on Netflix. So just throwing that out there. All right. Otherwise, Thursday, we get the first game on the docket is the Pirates visiting the Mets. Paul Skeens versus Freddie Peralta. So, and we know the Brewers, they will be in action at 1:10. So, all right, let's take our final break as we wrap up this third quarter. So, we'll be right back after these quick words. Only a few minutes left to the top of the hour this morning. So coming up next hour, we're going to get back to some more baseball talk as we are inching closer and closer to opening day. We're probably going to have a little fun in the wild card or in the happy hour version of this program, which is coming your way in the final hour. So especially when it's related to baseball and such. So we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. But if you just missed it, there was some baseball news that does affect the NL Central. The Cubbies apparently agree to an extension for Pete Crow Armstrong, so locking up their young center fielder who just turned 24, is about to turn 24, is 24 years old. So there's that news there. So, but yeah, we'll go through what Brandon Woodruff had to say yesterday in front of the media about him not starting this season on the injured list. He is a part of the rotation, just not the opening series, but it's in the second series against the Rays. So we got that, and we'll take a look at the final tune-up for the Brewers when they take on the Reds in Milwaukee at AmFam Field at 4:10 today. So the final tune-up before it all matters. It's getting close, baby. It's getting close. So where does opening day kind of rank on your list of favorite sports days of the calendar year? Where is that at? Like, you got, obviously last Thursday was one of the best days with March Madness. You got opening day for baseball. I'm counting Thursday as opening day. I'm sorry, I know there's opening night on Wednesday, but come on, opening day is opening day. So I'm still rolling with Thursday as being opening day. Easily one of my favorites, but we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. So I've only got a minute left till the shot clock cuts me off. So final call in the final hour for your Grind My Gears, your I'm Not Sayings, but I'm Just Sayings, and your Sports Confessions. So let me just throw this out there before we get to the cutoff. I feel like, we talk about some of the best sounds in sports, right? The swish of a basketball net. The shoulder pads of a football player hitting another football player. The sweet sounds of a well-struck golf ball. Baseball, there's quite a few, though. The sound of a ball hitting the leather of your glove or the ball coming off of a bat, the crack of a bat. Which one is better between those two? Let's do a little fun informal poll in the final hour here. So hit me up with those texts, okay? 715-830-1912 or join in on the 105 chat room. 105, section 105. I knew I was missing a word there. Section 105 chat room on our